Like and subscribe right now, or this will be in your bed tonight. Honey, download affiliate link in the description. Honey is a free browser add-on that can save you money online when you shop. It is free and is available for pretty much all browsers and can be installed in 2 clicks. Honey automatically finds and applies the best coupon codes online, so you don't have to waste your precious time. Honey has saved its customers millions, so add Honey to your browser today and start saving money. Who does not like free money from all the savings you will make? Download Honey today with the affiliate link in the description below. Hello and welcome back to ProRevenge. Before we start, please scroll down and click the like and subscribe button and the bell icon. This means that you will get more videos and it will really help me out. Thanks. Rumored blackmailed us and almost lost us our apartment, so we played dirty. So, my friend and I were in our 2nd year of college together and were roommates. We were both transfers and going into senior year and had been renting an apartment for the past year. The 2 of us had lived with 3 other people the first year, but they graduated and moved out. The apartment had 2 rooms and a den with double doors that could be used for 1 person. We had 2 people in each room and 1 in the den. We needed to find people to replace our old housemates, and my friend knew a couple people who were living together and wanted to move to a new place together. She talked to them and set everything up before summer, so that way during the fall we would already have everything figured out. We signed the lease before summer vacation and everything seemed fine. One girl wanted to rent out the big room to herself and would pay full price for it. Let's call her Sharon. The other one would live in the den, who I will call Carrie. There would only be 4 of us instead of 5 the coming year, which we were looking forward to. However, over the summer, Sharon started having second thoughts about living with Carrie. Apparently while living together they'd had some issues. Sharon called my friend and I and told us that apparently Carrie had pushed her down the stairs while they were living together, and she bought pepper spray and a taser just in case. According to Sharon, one night they thought they heard someone trying to break into their apartment and were standing at the top of the stairs listening when Carrie told Sharon to go check it out. Sharon didn't want to go, so Carrie pushed her and Sharon fell down the stairs. We asked Carrie about this, but she said that while they heard suspicious activity and called the police, she never pushed Sharon down the stairs. My friend and I didn't know what to believe and ultimately told Sharon they'd have to work it out since she was the one having doubts. We also told her that if she changed her mind we'd need at least a month's notice. Sharon decided she still wanted to live with us and was okay living with the other girl, so we thought it was fine. Summer passes and fall arrives. Sharon is moving in. Carrie is planning on moving in a few days later. However, Sharon brings someone over to the apartment and starts showing her around. She apparently wanted a roommate and wanted us to sign the new person onto our lease with an addendum, but she hadn't talked to us about it before. Apparently, she still didn't feel safe with Carrie around and said she'd feel safer with a roommate. She told her potential roommate she hadn't known she'd be living with Carrie, even though the 4 of us had signed addendum to put them both on the lease at the same time. My friend and I thought things were getting weird at this point and started feeling concerned. Unfortunately, our lease was going to expire soon and we needed to sign the lease renewal in a few days, and we couldn't get an addendum to sign the new person on until we signed the lease renewal. My friend and I had let the Sharon and Carrie know this in advance and they had agreed beforehand to sign it. If we didn't sign it in time, we would have to start an entirely new lease, and the price would go up a lot which we couldn't afford. So if we didn't sign our new lease agreement in time, we would all have to find another place to live. Since school was about to start, it would have been hard to find another place to live so quickly. This wouldn't have been an issue, but then Sharon was afraid that Carrie wouldn't sign the new person onto the lease and said she wouldn't sign the lease renewal if we didn't add her roommate first. We got pissed because she had never even asked us if we were okay with living with one more person or let us know beforehand, and now she was risking everyone's place to stay to try and make us sign someone we'd never met onto the lease. We told Sharon we couldn't sign her roommate on before renewing the lease since we had to renew it so soon, which was the apartment's rules. She kept making more demands and told us that if we didn't do what she wanted, then she wouldn't sign the lease renewal and we'd all be without a place to live. She wanted me to observe a verbal agreement as a third party person between her and Carrie, where Carrie would agree to sign the new person onto the lease. After we signed the lease renewal, I told her I wasn't comfortable with this. So this is where the fun starts. Carrie seemed nice so far, and my friend and I were really uncomfortable with how Sharon was acting. She continued to move all of her stuff in, while telling us her conditions. We wouldn't agree to any of them, not only because there was no way to meet them under the rules of our apartment complex, but also because we weren't going to let this girl control us like that and make us live with someone we didn't know if we wanted to live with. However, then Sharon came up with a clever idea. She said that we could sign her off of the lease with an addendum, then sign the lease renewal with Carrie, and then sign her and her roommate back onto the lease. That way she would have no chance of getting stuck on the lease without a roommate. My friend and I told her that we agreed to this, and told Carrie as well, who also agreed. My friend and I went to the office to let them know, so they wrote the addendum to take Sharon off of the lease. Everyone in the apartment had to sign it in order for it to be valid. My friend, Carrie and I signed it, and waited for Sharon to sign it. After telling her it was ready, she went downstairs and signed herself off of the lease. After this, she came back up, and my friend and I informed her that we would not be signing her back onto the lease. She got really upset. She told us that if we didn't want to live with her she would have signed herself off anyways, but we didn't believe her. She started crying and told us that she had just finished setting up her desk. We didn't care. She had threatened 3 other people's security in place to live, as well as her potential roommates. She went outside and slammed the door. My friend and I were relieved it was over and that we wouldn't be losing our apartment. We just needed to find someone to take her place. Sharon came back in with a smug look on her face and told me she had her mom on the phone and her mom wanted to talk to one of us. I took the phone and put it on speaker while my friend listened. Carrie went to her space and closed the door. When I answered the phone, Sharon's mom went off on me. She called me a bitch and told me to go to hell. I stayed calm and told her that I stood by the decision we made. She told me to go to hell several more times. Then she told me Sharon had nowhere to go and I didn't give a rat's ass. I told her she was right. I didn't. Her mom told me to go to hell one more time and hung up. I gave the phone back to Sharon, who seemed surprised that I wasn't intimidated. She whispered sorry as I gave her phone back to her. Then she went to her room to take her stuff apart and start packing. Since we paid the lease in advance for our place, as per the apartment's rules, Sharon had paid to stay until the end of the month, so we let her stay until then. This gave her about 5 days to figure something else out. She made it as difficult as possible, but eventually left. Pretty sure I didn't see her on campus or anything after that, so that was the last time I saw her. The best part is that the girl who was going to be Sharon's roommate still needed a place to stay, so we signed her onto the lease and helped her find a roommate. It was actually a fairly lengthy battle, but in the end we won our apartment back. Word of advice, don't sign people onto your lease months in advance, even if they will pay for their room while they're not there. People can make a lot of changes in a few months, and if they don't know you, they won't care about fucking you over. TL. Doctor, new roommate didn't want to sign lease renewal because she didn't trust another roommate, which would have left everyone without a place to live. So we tricked her into signing herself off of the lease with her under the impression we'd sign her back on. Abuse your 9-year-old student. Enjoy losing your career forever. The story may contain triggering stuff and may be long. TL. Doctor will be at the ending. Characters: teacher, Richard; counselor, Karen; me, mom, and my friend, Cedric. All the names are fake, of course. This story starts when I was in the 3rd grade elementary school, 17 years ago. As a side note, I have mild Asperger's syndrome, which was undiagnosed for 17 years, which probably was the reason that I was a prime target for bullying. Back in 2002, I went from a really bad neighborhood to a much better one. At least, at first it was like that. But it started to change when I enrolled into the nearest public school, and even though it was supposedly the best out of the schools in the neighborhood, it was the worst years of my life for 2 years. I was given to this male teacher, Richard, who was my mom's friend's brother, and the woman said that he was well aware of my habits and issues. I usually had to go to psychiatrist after psychiatrist to find out what the hell was wrong with me, who could understand nothing, and he would take good care of me. Oh, how wrong we were. The moment I began even appearing in the class, Richard would ridicule me, call me names, and intentionally give me the works that I really did not understand nor liked at all because I didn't take notes in class, since I hated writing with a passion. Eventually, this situation grew to something much worse. My classmates sans one boy, Cedric, would bully me as well, beating me up until I literally peed myself or throw my belongings out of the window. Me, being the dumb to kind child I was, I didn't tell anything to my mother or the other better teacher, since I knew there would be hell to pay for them if my mom knew. And the class knew it too, as my mom did once catch them in the act of them beating me up brutally and got the kids beaten up by their parents and suspended for 2 weeks, if I remember correctly. One day, however, after the 2 kids returned from being suspended, I saw that they were talking to Richard while giving me the death glares, as if they were in the right of the situation. I shrugged it off and busied myself with my book, as I was and will always be a bookworm. Had I kept on looking though, I'm sure I would have seen that something was very wrong. Richard then called everyone besides me to his side and told them something that obviously excited them, except for my only friend, who looked shocked. I still didn't pick up on anything, and this almost cost me my life. When the lunch break came, the kids suddenly circled me and started dragging me to the nearest window, intent on throwing me out of it. We were 4 stories high, and I was a very thin girl. I wouldn't have stood a chance. Just when they were going to push me out, Cedric got to my aid and pushed them aside while helping me out. Of course, I was terrified and shaking for a while. Then, the kids told Richard that Cedric had saved me, which led to him getting bullied as well. And while this was happening, neither of us noticed that Richard was gone from the classroom. Turns out, he went straight to the school's counselor, who was a horrible woman whom I've always called a witch, even to her face, as I had no verbal filter, Karen. Karen then called my mom and told her that I tried to commit suicide, much to my mom's horror. She immediately ran to the school, and I was called down as well, so that I could explain myself. But thankfully, after I tried to tell my mom about what had happened and literally got brushed off by Karen and Richard, Cedric confirmed my story, looking pissed off and a bit scary even as a 9-year-old. That got my mom pissed. She swore that she would end these 2 people's careers if it was the last thing she did. But I still tried to get my mom to drop the subject, since in my childish mind, there was nothing wrong anymore. But she did no such thing. Instead, she secretly documented every single bruise I had, along with the words of my friend about the bullying we both now got. Then came the 2nd year and nothing had changed. In fact, everything got even worse. The kids still tried hard to keep me from getting help and to erase me, as one of them put it. But Cedric wouldn't leave me alone with them, even though it made him the class pariah. His grades even dropped far below average because he was helping the insane little girl. I felt awful about this, but his parents, bless their souls, understood what had been happening and were willing to help us, but my mom rejected it. She had a plan. Then, the last homework Richard gave us came. It was to write what we felt about our teacher, and I was eager to show that, even after everything he'd done and said to me, there were no hard feelings for him within me. I got a big cardboard and wrote with big colorful letters, "I love you, my teacher." We say it like that in here, and carried it to the school the next day. And then the shit hit the fan. When Richard saw what I'd written, he immediately went to Karen and told her to get my mom to school and get me expelled. The reason? I was apparently trying to ruin his marriage by telling him that I loved him. I was 10 years old at that point and had no feelings like that for him in the slightest. When my mom came and learned that they were trying to expel me, I'll never forget the conversation that took place. "Mom, so why are you trying to expel my daughter?" "Richard, because it's F***ing obvious that she wants me and she disrupts my class all the time." "Karen, yes, she even tried to commit." "Mom, oh, really? I know for a fact that it was staged, and I will not stand for this. I already have my proof that you've been abusing my daughter ever since she was put in your care. And I'm very much going to go to the MEB, the Ministry of Education in our country, and talk about this. Neither of them believed her claims, thinking that it was ridiculous of her, until we went to the principal's office and found out the truth in a harsh way. My mom promptly called the Minister of Education, since she had the connections to do so back then, and told about everything they'd done to me, along with saying she was going to mail her proof, and asked her to take both of their teaching licenses and everything. The look on their faces were priceless as they got the notification that it happened. And my mom also made me move classes, which doesn't happen easily in where I live. After that, it was a peaceful time while I stayed in the school, as none of my bullies even came close to me after that. As for Cedric, I'm still friends with him and talk to him from time to time. TL. Doctor, I got the teacher who wanted me dead out of teaching thanks to my mom. Thank you all for watching to the end of the video. But before you go, please like and subscribe for more. Not many of you at all that watch are subscribed or like the video, and this makes me unsure if I should continue to make more content or not. So if you want more content, please like and subscribe. If you don't want to miss out on any future videos, click the bell icon next to the subscribe button. Also, please give me some feedback in the comment section about what I can do better, because not many people comment on my videos, so I have no idea of people's opinions of thoughts about this YouTube channel. So yeah, that's all from me. If you have subscribed and liked the video, please consider sharing the video with your friends. Thanks and bye. I'm still doing daily uploads, so hope to see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.